Okay, I think that is starting up. Okay, great. So thank you all for joining. My name is John Corin. For those of you who have not met before, I'm president of Bicycle Advocates for Annapolis and Anne Arundel County, Bike AAA. And we're very, very pleased that Sandy Bishop just recently joined the Bike AAA board, has a real passion for the topic you're about to hear more about. And with the help of Dennis Conti, who's on the call, Lois Finley, our Bike AAA treasurer, and others, it's quite remarkable how fast this is moving from idea to soon to have a trishaw in Anne Arundel County. So Sandy, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Again, thanks for coming. And we're going to jump right into a slideshow that I have that kind of will just introduce you to, see if it works. Is it coming up, John? Try that. Okay. Did you get it?
Looks good.
All right, cool. So Cycling Without Age is a program that is started in Denmark. We are an affiliate of the global organization. It's only been around we're just past 10 years. It started with just a guy going along, noticing the elderly in his area, sitting and realizing that these were people that probably used to be active and no longer are. And he himself had grown up with a father who had multiple sclerosis and had mobility issues. And on the spur of the moment, he went and rented a trishaw and went over to a nursing home and said, "Would anybody like a ride?" And that was how this whole program started. It's now as of a year ago, it was already in 52 countries and 25 states here in the US have it. Wisconsin and Colorado are competing for the most chapters. Here in Maryland, we are only the second chapter and only one in Anne Arundel County. The only other chapter in Maryland is a woman down in St. Mary's County who does it on her own and she has a trishaw and she gives rides. The thing that I really like about Cycling Without Age is the 5 guiding principles that are behind it, and that includes generosity. It's a completely volunteer-run organization. Rides are always free to anyone with, of course, the target audience, primarily individuals who have mobility limitations that prevent them from going for a bike ride on their own. The program is all about slowness and allowing time for the participants to enjoy their environment, to enjoy each other's company, and to just re-engage with the community. Storytelling is a huge part of it, taking time to be in conversation with each other, the pilots and passengers, and individuals that they meet along the way. People are really intrigued by the trishaw, and in the different videos that I've seen, the participants, oftentimes they're riding along and they're just waving at everybody that they see as they go along with big smiles on their face, which causes the people to smile back. And the stories that come back from this. Just today, I was watching another YouTube channel that was an interview with the founder, Ole Casau, and one of the first people to start chapters in Colorado, and talking about the long range effects of the storytelling and engagement that happens, that builds the relationships, and the reports that they keep getting back from the nursing home staff about how the different individuals who go out on these rides talk about it for not just a few hours, but sometimes days afterwards. It changes moods, it changes just their outlook on life. It improves their feelings, their ability to communicate, their interest in communicating. So a lot of health benefits that come out of this just because of the storytelling, the engagement, and the relationships. Without Age is really about allowing people to age in a positive way, and also that the program is not limited to just elderly or a certain age group, either from the people sitting in the front or the people sitting in the back. Pilots can be anyone who can actually pedal the bike and go. So we can be, older high school students, college students, up through retirees pedaling the bike. And the people in the front can be children with mobility issues, people, in middle age, or people who are living in assisted living. So without age really means that it's for everyone. To really get a sense of the program, I wanted to play this short video that comes out of Colorado. And it is, what I like about it is that it shows the perspective of what the rides are like, both from the passenger point of view and the pilot point of view. And I think it really demonstrates it better than just trying to describe it. So if you don't mind, we'll switch to this other screen. Okay, new share. So sounds like there was an audio problem. You guys weren't getting the audio with that. I am so sorry. Did not know. Oh well. But it's the video's available on the Bike AAA webpage. If you go under programs and go to Cycling Without Age, you can watch it and get the whole audio. The audio was really good, and I didn't realize it wasn't coming through. Good facial expressions. Okay. Thanks. So the thing with Cycling Without Age is that each chapter can design the program to fit their location, and each chapter is very unique. The way that we've decided to start it out here in Anne Arundel County is we're starting with one location. The program is a Bike AAA program. The CWA is going to be, Bike AAA owns the trishaw, will provide the insurance, the oversight, the volunteers, and retains control of the program, even though everything is going to start and work from the Sunrise in Severna Park. We approached them as our first choice site because it's local for me, and it was the assisted living facility that I was aware of that was close to a bike trail. They're 1 block from the B&A trail, and finding a safe bike route that we can navigate a trishaw on was very critical to getting started. They have been super excited at being asked to be the first site. They're providing us a storage space in one of their outdoor sheds for the trishaw, which was a huge concern. So initially, their residents will be our primary passengers. They are going to start with their assisted living residents who get out the least. And I just discovered this past week that their intention is that each assisted living resident will ride along with a staff member. So pilots won't be solely responsible for the care of that individual when they're out for a ride. There'll be someone who knows that person with them. If we have enough pilots and we have a capacity, I would love to expand it to the residents on the independent side. From the video that we watched in Colorado, a lot of the individuals that were the passengers there tended to be, I think, people who were a little bit more mobile, but not, able to get out and ride a bike. And that offers a different kind of opportunity to give rides. But having the trishaw located right at the facility makes the whole process a lot simpler. You just will go in and have the bike right there, and it just kind of simplifies the whole process. The key thing is once we've got passengers at Sunrise, we need pilots. So what we're looking for in the way of pilots are individuals who are comfortable riding a bike, may or may not know the rules of the road. We will provide training about that. The trishaws are all electric assist and actually don't require a great deal of physical strength to be able to pedal them and take people for rides. So really basic ability, average physical strength is sufficient. Willingness to learn how to handle the trishaw, and then being comfortable with engaging with your passengers and making it a very social experience. At a minimum, we're asking for a commitment of 3 hours of ride time per month. Ideally, I'd love to see people really able to do more than that, but we have to start somewhere, and I understand everyone's busy. So what would a sample ride scenario look like? The way that this is envisioned right now, and this is new, everything is open for discussion and experimentation. So the first group of pilots will be heavily involved in helping us figure out the best way to manage all of this. But As things are currently envisioned, pilot would arrive at sunrise. You would check in at the front desk and pick up the key for the storage shed, get the battery out of the climate controlled room where it will be charging, go get the bike out of the shed, do a pre-ride checklist to make sure that it's roadworthy, go to the agreed pickup spot. Sunrise staff will assist with the loading of the passenger. There will be a predetermined route from Sunrise to the trail. We'll go out with the trishaw and determine what's the best, safest way to do that. You'll go for a ride of, the estimate is about 30 minutes with the assisted care residents. That's about as much as we need. Return to the facility. Again, Sunrise staff helps with the unloading. And then the process is just reversed, put the bike away, bring the key back, put the battery back in the charger. Or if you're doing back-to-back rides, load the next passenger, go again. The scheduling system is something that we're still figuring out what that's going to look like. But there again, I'm envisioning a system that has a lot of flexibility where pilots and the staff at Sunrise mutually can say, we'd like a ride, or the pilot says, I'm available to give rides. They match up with each other and do rides at a mutually agreeable time. Everything's right there and ready to go. And we kind of I would like to develop a system that takes the middleman out, and those rides can be kind of just done between passengers and pilots with minimal oversight from, a central authority like me or someone else. Pilot training, I have information from active chapters in other states. I'm going to borrow heavily from their training checklists, but the curriculum's in development. So again, first set of pilots are going to help figure out what we need, what we don't need, and all of that. But typically it would go over the trishaw, the equipment, how it works, what are the different things that you need to know about it, trishaw handling, because of the size of the bike, things about how turning technique, keeping it in balance, watching your speed, how to deal with slopes. Passenger loading and unloading is, again, Sunrise will help with that. It's more about making sure that you've got proper balance, but with two passengers, it's one on the left, one on the right, no big problems. Ride considerations would be things like, watching your weather, where we're going to be allowing the rides to happen, some discussion of soft skills, being comfortable with the different things that you might encounter with passengers from an assisted living facility, how to deal with some dementia or hard of hearing, or, whatever we might encounter, and bringing in some individuals from the Sunrise staff to talk to us about how to make the experience as comfortable for pilots and passengers both ways. Some of the other chapters actually, after completion of training and some practice time, do a certification test for pilots. We may or may not go that route, but we will definitely, not allow people taking the trishaw out with passengers until everybody's feeling comfortable and confident about skills for that. The overall plan for this year is, this month we get our first trishaw, and that happens on Saturday. Going to pick it up in Pennsylvania Saturday morning. This is the recruitment of my first group of volunteers, hopefully from this group and the live stream on Facebook. We will identify a handful of people who want to move forward. Next month, we'll be getting that trishaw out and, doing test rides with it and learning it ourselves, doing the pilot trainings, finalizing what are some good, safe routes, the paperwork, the checklists, all of that stuff, with an idea of a soft start in April, where we're actually going out with people from Sunrise. Maybe we start with just a staff member, get comfortable with it, and then we start taking the residents out and building our experience. Right now, we're looking at the third weekend in May, around the 20th, 21st, for an official formal kickoff event, big launch party, have politicians there, media there, whatever. And then, watch how the program develops. Hopefully, by midsummer, we're looking at, more publicity. Maybe we take the trishaw and the Saverna Park 4th of July parade. We're looking at securing funding for a trailer so that we can take this beyond just Saverna Park and Sunrise. So maybe in August, we're looking at taking the trishaw off to the county senior centers or some of the county parks and offering rides in other locations. Of course, October, we'll like to be at Lifeline 100, giving rides, getting the word out, making sure that more and more of the community is aware, and Lifeline brings in people from, a much larger geographic area, so great exposure there. And, then the possibilities just continue. Maybe in fall, November, we're doing, color tours, or in December, we're finding quiet neighborhoods to go out after dark and seeing the Christmas lights. A lot of the chapters are in cold weather states and Northern European countries, and they find that with the proper heating, we've got blankets that we can order, and that the cool weather rides are some of the more popular times for some of the residents. One person said that the comment they got from some of the residents going out in the cooler, cold weather was they felt like they were cheating the seasons. They were, cheating life. They were getting out there, when everybody else is starting to cocoon, and they're out there, and, the stimulation of the senses again. So the transporting the trishaw is a future issue that we're looking at. Again, we're looking at funding for a transport trailer. We will need that eventually just for basic maintenance and things like that. But ideally, the trailer allows us to take the trishaw to other locations, test the waters, see what the population in different parts of the county, what their reaction to it is. But that involves another set of needs in terms of volunteers who have vehicles and the capacity to tow a trailer and are comfortable doing that. But for me, the excitement of being able to take the trishaw and go to other locations and ideally, inspire enough places and individuals that we can have multiple trishaws stationed in various parts of the county, so that these rides are happening in more and more places. Colorado is up to like 40 or 50 trishaws across the state in various locations. So the more people who are aware of it, the more that we can maybe see expansion into other places, and especially some of the more underserved parts of the county. The actual trishaw,
Sandy,
yeah.
Steve is asking if it would fit in a pickup truck.
This is the trishaw that we're purchasing. It is approximately 7 feet long. It will fit, but it's 200 pounds empty. So getting it into the pickup truck is the thing. It can be done. Absolutely. If somebody's got a good technique for getting it up into the bed of the truck, absolutely, you could do that as well. The people who want the specs, I've got, the extra information here. It is a rear drive. So with a derailleur, some of the other models from other manufacturers have a mid-drive system. This is rear drive. The other thing that this one has is the front footrest on this one actually will go down for loading purposes, so that the people can get right up, and then they sit down, they buckle in, and then that goes back up. There's a pedal in the back that raises and lowers that. So that's how that works. And oops. So that's pretty much everything I have, but I'm open to questions. There's more information on our webpage. There's links to various videos, both the TED Talk from the person who started this and why he started it, to the video that I showed from Colorado with audio, which is much more interesting. I'm open to any questions you have, or if you know that you're interested, but you're not sure what role you want to play, if you can email me or go through the volunteer link on the Bike AAA website and just let me know of your interest. Again, the training for pilots will happen next month. We're still got to figure out what that looks like, what the dates are going to be. And I think the model that some of the other states are doing is they have maybe an hour of classroom time where we have the trishaw and we kind of look at it and we do that. But the bulk of the training will be in small groups in the parking lot, probably over at Sunrise and on the trail with, pilot trainees, piloting and passengers taking turns being in the front and the back and getting comfortable with and experimenting with that trishaw and really getting to know how it handles. Any questions?
Hi, this is Steve. Would the training be like during the week or on the weekends, at night, during the day?
Date and time are to be determined. So because we need pilots, we will do what we can to accommodate the schedules and offer a variety of times. I mean, it's reasonable that we would need to do that. So definitely. The only thing would be for the riding the trishaw, we would need to find some daylight hours to do that.
Sure.
Any other questions can I help you with or thoughts? Anybody, did a thumbs up is a good idea?
Sandy, this is Tim. It's a great idea. I was starting to type, but I guess it's easier just to speak.
Yeah.
Is there something like, I'm trying to think of it called like Schedule Monkey or something like that, one of the online scheduling things where you can, let's say, first get proposed blocks of time, get folks that are willing to volunteer and kind of see what are some standard times. Actually, maybe a threefold process. One, propose, hey, these are probably the best times when you're going to have people wanting to do this, have people sign up for it. And then once you've got, I'll say, committed volunteers, allow people at the at Sunrise or as we go on other places
Right.
to connect that way.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple. I've looked at a number of different things. CWA out of Denmark is actually making their scheduling system available to chapters around the world. Sign Up Genius can do it. There's different models and as the pilots start, coming on board and discussing their availability and then I'm talking with Sunrise and we'll play with that whole scheduling thing and initially it may be very much a lot of back and forth until we figure out the right system that we're going to use over the long haul. But yeah, there are some options out there that we definitely could play with.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, but I'll follow up with an email, but I'm interested in being one of the drivers. So sounds like a really cool experience and really cool deal.
Awesome. And I'm still looking for somebody or a couple of people that have some bike experience or the interest in helping me be trainers because I have modest bike experience, nothing like John and Lois and some of the others and Dennis, but I'm going to be learning the trishaw along with everybody else when we get it. Unfortunately, there just isn't anybody else near us that's already doing this that I can bring a trainer in from out of the area. So we're going to learn as we go.
I'm happy to have a few miles under my belt. But
awesome. Yeah, the whole training element is in development because I'm not sure what we need to know or how we're going to do it until I get the trishaw here and start playing with it. So if anybody wants to learn with me.
Yeah, Tim biked from here to Minnesota this summer.
Oh, okay. All right, then yeah, a few miles. Awesome. That'd be great if you could help.
Sure.
Anything else? Can I
Yeah,
answer
Sandy,
questions or?
Sandy, could you address how we might handle any mechanical or physical issues that might occur on a ride?
So one of the things that I have seen and our insurance actually policy requires is to come up with a risk management plan. And part of that is, having a very thorough pre-ride checklist, a maintenance schedule to make sure that the bike is running properly. But then, yeah, we need to have a plan as to what's going to happen. And one of the passenger handbooks that I've seen from other chapters addresses that by saying if the bike breaks down and the pilot can't fix it, that they're going to call a cab. And if the cab can't get to where they're at, then they're going to figure out a way to get the passenger to the cab. So those are, again, things that we have to figure out as we go. And some of that will be talking to Sunrise and say, how do you guys want to handle this? How, with the people that we have, if they can't walk, how do we deal with that? Are we going to wait where we are and you're going to bring a wheelchair or, so there are some questions that we'll answer as we figure it out and get in actually on the bike and trying it and what they're comfortable
Makes
with and what
sense.
we're comfortable with.
Sorry.
It's okay.
No, so I was thinking too, one thing, you would obviously want to have some type of kit, some equipment along the, as part of the bike, but even, I'll say a map. I'm assuming we're predominantly using the trail, the B&A trail. So with
For now,
that,
yeah.
kind of knowing where the key intersecting points are to be able to communicate and, having
Right.
people have a phone that says, okay, hey, you're able to communicate and know where, that nearest point is that you can try to get folks to. Some of those sorts of things. Yeah, we can build into the plan, I would think.
Yeah, and definitely one of the items on the checklist is a pilot is required to have a working, fully charged phone. And so that's part of the safety plan is to have that phone available so that you can call for help. So,
I see Steve's
So-
got his hand up.
okay.
Yeah. Do you know if the bike is going to have tubeless tires?
I don't think it does. I think they're tube tires, but we have John, I can't remember his name, but we have somebody who said that he's willing to help with the maintenance on the trishaws, and he was in Littleton, Colorado prior to being here and worked with the trishaws out there. So he knows something about the trishaws. So hopefully, he can also give us some advice about how to deal with that.
I was just thinking, most likely mechanical, if the bike is in good service, would be a flat tire.
Right.
So, a tubeless tire is pretty easy to repair on the trail because it really require you to like remove the tire. So you don't have to like unboard any passengers. Whereas if you had a tube tire, you'd have to take the tube off the wheel, which would obviously necessitate people to be like taken off of the thing, which, if they're in assisted living, doesn't sound like it's a pretty viable option. So just a
Yeah.
suggestion, if
Appreciate it.
the is to like make it tubeless, and I'd be happy to show people how to like repair a tubeless tire.
That'd be awesome. I mean, this is where I have to rely on the expertise of the riders who know more about this stuff than I do. I'm definitely thinking more in terms of the program and all of that. These technical details are things that I really need to rely on you all that have more expertise than me to give good guidance on that. So once I get the trishaw here, I'll put a notification out to anybody that wants to meet with me, and we can kind of just go over the bike and brainstorm ideas about how to make it as safe as possible and how to deal with mechanical failures and what they might be. That'd be awesome. Thanks.
Hey, John, could you just brag on Dennis and Sandy's efforts to get the funding that we have so far?
If I have to. Thanks for the cue, Lois. Yeah, some of you were there at the Bike AAA annual meeting in November. Sandy is new to the board. She was elected to the board that evening. No, I think it was November 16th. Dennis was in attendance at the meeting. Sandy got up for just a couple minutes and described the concept. Dennis immediately, as we were wrapping up, said, "I'm aware of a grant opportunity. It's opening soon. I'm familiar with it. I've got another application for another nonprofit involved." And by 10 p.m. that evening, I'm getting emails from Dennis. "I need your EIN. I've got this grant application started." And Dennis and Sandy collaborated, applied for the grant. We deposited
Within 48 hours. That grant
yeah.
application went in within 48 hours. It was amazing.
Last week we deposited a $10,000 grant check to get this started. So and they've got additional grants. Some of you may have heard some of the chatter before we launched this tonight. There's some other grants that are in the works that would fund program expenses, trailer, and other things associated with the program. So it's been really phenomenal work to get this go. Sandy and Dennis in particular to get this going so rapidly.
I just put a YouTube link in the chat for that's another video. It comes from the trishaw manufacturer. It's just 2 minutes, and you can turn the sound off on that one. It's just music. But it shows a demonstration of the trishaw. You can see how the pedals activated to up, raise, and lower the footrest. It shows you the hand controls for the power. It includes what else? Oh, you can see the front suspension. This particular model has suspension under that front bench, so that makes it for a smoother ride. The hood on the trishaw is completely removable and can stow behind the seat. So in nice weather, you don't have to have it. I know some people were concerned about it being in the way to be able to see. We may decide as a chapter that it's in the way, or it may be something that the passengers really enjoy because the sun's too much, or so, but it's optional. We don't have to use it. It's certainly in all of the logos and things like that. It's in fact the online forum for all of the chapters around the world where people share ideas because they want. I've learned a lot just from that. It's called The Hood because of that big canopy over all the different. They use 4 different manufacturers. All of them feature a red hood. That's the color for CWA, and it's very obvious when it's a CWA trishaw. This manufacturer, in fact, typically their hood, their standard color is orange. So the red is specific to the program. And it's very cheery, a happy color.
I just wanted to chime in about the trailer piece. They don't have to be expensive. I mean, you can literally buy a trailer that could easily tow that trishaw. You could buy one at Harbor Freight and assemble it. It comes with the documentation and get a title for like under $500.
Okay.
It can. I mean, I used to haul motorcycles to the racetrack on these things, so like they're fully capable of pulling a 200-pound trishaw, and they actually make them to where you can fold them up and stow them. So
Wow.
I have
Does it have a loading ramp on them?
Yes, it does. I mean, even before that, you can go to U-Haul and get a trailer for 24 hours, $15 for the day.
Yeah.
Needed it for the day. I'm just saying, there's lots of trailer options. I'm familiar with a lot of them, just due to my experiences, and to share what information I have as far as that goes as well.
Great. Appreciate it.
They can get
Steve, that's
All
really
right.
helpful. One of the things we've kicked around is, a smaller open trailer, probably like you're describing, versus an enclosed trailer, which could facilitate storage. Let's say we were going to another location and doing rides for a couple of days. If it could be left secured there, then it's enclosed. Do we get one that fits just one trishaw or two? Just thinking longer term. So that, those are some of the things we're just thinking about with regard to trailers.
Yeah, valid. And they do make open trailers that can probably haul two of those. I mean, I would have to revisit the specs on that. I don't know, depending how wide it is, if you could fit two of them side by side. There are limits to how wide trailers can be. I mean, generally speaking, most are under 8 feet wide. So I don't know how wide an individual bike is, but
Just over 3 feet and change. The bench is 100 centimeters across. It's a meter wide. So it's 3 feet. And the tires on this particular one kind of sit under the edge of that. So it's just a hair over 3 feet wide.
yeah, you'd have to just take a look at like where the wheel wells on the trailer are to see if you could sneak two of them inside, or you just have to get a longer trailer and put them front to back.
Well,
Right.
potentially you could also, have them facing opposite directions that might,
Right.
but yeah, it's kind of making sure you get those measurements and figure that out.
Right.
Yeah. And we do have the added advantage that, again, Sunrise is 100% behind this. They are very excited about it, and have also said they have ample space in their parking lot that we can leave our trailer there. So we can keep the trailer on their property where the trishaw will be housed. And so they've been extremely accommodating and easy to work with.
Great.
So, yeah. Anything else?
One thing you may want to think about, especially early on as folks are getting exposed to the trishaw and the B&A trail, is having an escort cyclist or two along. With the pilot on the rear of the trishaw, the sightline's a little bit different at road crossings, for example. Sometimes even as a cyclist on the trail, you kind of have to take a double take to make sure that traffic in both directions is good to cross. You want to be especially mindful of the trishaw in that situation. And it may also help the pilot maintain better situational awareness of other trail users, right? Make sure that, hey, heads up, we got 3 cyclists coming, that kind of thing. Someone who's comfortable riding more slowly, especially, and keep their head on a swivel and communicate with the pilot, either from behind the trishaw or perhaps even surging ahead at a road crossing to make sure that it's safe to proceed versus signaling a need to stop.
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be a learning curve with this, and we'll definitely figure that out as we go. And as the trishaw is out on the trail, probably at semi-regular times, hopefully the community will also get used to seeing us around. But yeah, there is a concern about those crossings and figuring out how we're going to handle that in the safest way possible.
Sounds like you were describing Old County Road.
Yeah. I think I've covered everything that I was going to talk about. If anybody has anything else. Like
Well,
I said,
Sandy,
I'm gonna
thanks
get
so
that
much. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna have the trishaw Saturday. The weather's supposed to be nice Sunday and Monday. Monday's a holiday, so if anybody wants to see it, play with it, I'll have it out.
I actually was planning on doing a bike ride on Monday, so may try to communicate with you, just to give you my information for volunteering, but also, just to stop by and see it and, get a feel for how it rides and stuff. But That'd be
Yeah.
cool. All
Yeah,
right.
it's gonna initially be housed here at my house because Sunrise hasn't cleaned their shutout yet. That'll happen next month. So I'm in Manhattan Beach, so not far from the trail either, but I've already warned the community that I'm gonna be riding this thing around on the roads here.
That's fair.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
I have
John.
to drop off. I've got another Zoom meeting at 8
Yeah.
coming up. So
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for pulling this together.
Sure.
Attendees, I can feel the interest and the enthusiasm about this from your questions and suggestions. So yeah, I think we're really off to a great start, and hope to see some of you around this trishaw before long.
Definitely. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.